My name is AJ Elias, and I am the VP for Retail Delivery here at Meriwest Credit Union. It is our distinguished honor and a privilege to be the presiding sponsors for the San Jose Chamber Chat Series. I have personally been a member of this chamber for many, many years and have truly enjoyed the many benefits that comes with this membership. Now, here at Meriwest Credit Union, our sole purpose is to enhance the financial well-being of our members and the communities that we are serving in here. Here in the Santa Clara County, we have 9 branches, and we look forward to having you all come join us and see what it is that we can do to make an impact on this community.
Yep, that's it.
Was there anything shocking?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the first part of that second. I'm Derrick Seaver, President and CEO of the San Jose Chamber of Commerce, and we are pleased to be joined today by Alyssa Lynch, who's the Superintendent of the Metropolitan Education School District, or MetroED. Alyssa, thank you so much for all that you do and for joining us and for taking some time to discuss with our members.
Certainly, super happy and excited to be here.
Good deal, glad to have you. I really wanted to start kind of with your personal story today. I think for a lot of folks, education is really a calling, and would love to know a little bit about how you chose the field, and then specifically how you came to MetroED.
Okay, well, first off, I didn't choose it right away. I happened to major in fashion in college, and I didn't want to work nights, weekends, or holidays, so I decided after I graduated from college to go back and get a master's degree, and I studied marketing, and then I wanted to marry my passion between marketing and education. My mother was a teacher, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so I wanted to follow in her footsteps and launched my career as a high school teacher.
Nice. And I think as you and I were talking about previously, you and I share that. I actually came from a family with 2 parents as teachers, and so great way to follow. And the work that you guys are doing is really impactful. And I know from our perspective at the Chamber, our members in last year's survey indicated that workforce development and workforce retention was their top concern in the last year. Kind of from your perspective and with what you're seeing, why do you think that is, and what are some of the unique challenges that are being faced right now?
Well, first off, I think it's easy to say that the baby boomers are retiring. That's first and easy, and you can see that. I would also say a lot of employees have burnout. And then, having gone through the pandemic, people are actually looking for something really different than what we had before. They're looking for flexibility. They're shopping around. What's important to them is the flexibility at work, and that the employers are looking at taking care of them. Mental health and a balance is much more important than it used to be. So it's hard to find people that have the same values and wanting to work hard and long days and nights.
And kind of just staying with that for just a second, is it the combination of kind of the great resignation going on at the same time that the market is changing and really trying to fit those needs? Is that what you're seeing a lot of?
I do. I think there's a cross intersection at this time.
Yeah, certainly it's being felt by our members. And one of the things that's certainly interesting about working at the Chamber is we get to touch so many different sectors of the economy, and currently our membership makes up 28 different industry sectors, all of which facing unique challenges. It'd be interesting to hear from you, what sectors are getting the most focus from your students right now, and maybe which ones need a little bit more work in pipeline.
Sure. Coincidentally, we actually just did a survey last week of adults, and about 162 of them responded. We have always had, I want to say, a high impact and a high draw in the medical industry and field. Coincidentally, with your other question, that is an area where there's burnout, but at the same time, most people are interested in the healthcare industry. So we had a lot of people saying that they were interested in medical assisting, nursing careers, veterinarian, which is still health, pharmacy tech, and dental. As far as what areas is a struggle, definitely I would say it was in the area of construction. And then let's think about this one, law enforcement. I mean, that is difficult right now with what's going on in society. So we've actually seen a decline in our enrollment in law enforcement because it's a tough time.
Interesting. Yeah, no doubt. They're facing some definitely unique challenges. And has the healthcare interest increased even through the pandemic? Was that an area that almost sparked interest in it?
Yeah, surprisingly, there's a lot of young and up-and-coming people that are looking for something that they can train in quickly, and I want to call it a little bit more high paying, although it's not tech, and here we are in Silicon Valley. Nonetheless, it's like they can get trained quickly, they can go out there and get a job, because there's a huge market in that area that's open for trained people. So they're ready, they're dying, they're tapping us on the shoulder.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, coming off the last 2-3 years, might spark a whole bunch of new careers in that. One of the things that we've always valued about MetroED at the Chamber is your willingness to really look outside of internal and build deep partnerships in the private sector and with the business community. Could you talk a little bit about some of the work you have done, but also maybe some of the things that are on the horizon? And also feel free in communicating, now to our members, ways in which our members can be helpful to the work you're doing.
Well, we've had, actually this year, we've had 2 career fairs. So I would consider that outreach on our part. Nonetheless, we've actually had people that are contacting us because of the labor market shortage out there. So our outreach is either knocking on doors to ask people, can you serve on an advisory committee that looks at what we're teaching in our classroom? Or again, our career fair where we're contacting people, and we had this year a fleet of people from the city of San Jose. So typically we would have 1 table for the city of San Jose. This year we had 6 tables, whether it's park rangers, childcare, all the different areas. And so there's a combination of us reaching out to them for what we need and them contacting us to hire employees. So I'm gonna flip to the second part of your question and say that as far as, what we need, number one, is people that are willing, in locations and jobs that are willing to give internships. And we have students that go through 540 hours of training, which is more than what you would get at a community college because they're here 5 days a week, 3 hours. So we need people that are willing to give high school students an opportunity, and then job shadowing is a little bit easier. They just come out and see what's going on. But field trips, and so letting students actually come out and see, what does it look like in the manufacturing industry? What does it look like in the technology or the medical industry? And then guest speakers, we always need guest speakers, and it's super easy. I mean, it's just 1 day, it's probably like 2 hours. You just say, I'd like to come on this day. And that's really what we need. We need that kind of support. And then we have always been really lucky, and that companies, local companies, they like to just drop off things for our program that the students can use. And just to give you an example would be our electrical maintenance program. For a number of years, Cupertino Electric would come by and they would give us goggles or wire or something for our program. So we're open to all of those.
Good deal. Yeah, and I think for anybody listening to this, and we will certainly follow this on with an action item, I think when your survey and our survey comes together, I hope you'd see there'll be a lot of interest in that, and we'll definitely put on an action item to help by our members. Alyssa, I really kind of wanted to close on a broader based question. I think, for everybody that is in both the business community and also the education side, you're seeing this great sea change going on in education right now throughout the landscape. I'd be interested to know from you, as someone with as much background and experience in it as you have, kind of what your outlook is on the kind of the state of education and where you think things are going to head in the near future.
Okay, so I think this is actually a 2-part answer. Might be a little bit surprising in the beginning. I've thought about this, I've talked to the staff about this in January. Just have to say again, the landscape of education has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. Just kind of going out there to say, if we remember the fires in Napa, the fires in Sonoma, and then it's like, it's too hot, climate warming, global change. And then we have school lockdowns. And so then we have the pandemic. And we have become everything to all students in a connection to families with what's going on. And so we've had to do what we call wraparound services. We're providing a lot more services. We used to, I can say 10 years ago when I started this job, what I was talking about programs, I was talking about budget, and then instruction. And now what we're talking about is actually how do we keep children safe? And then really what we're talking about is mental health. So that's the part that I think might be a little surprising to you, but what you're really wanting to know is, what's the outlook for maybe career technical education, the workforce, and that. So in education, there's people knocking on our doors in career technical education right now because, again, they can't find enough people to hire, to work, and that are trained. So they're actually, in my first in my 10 years, they're coming to us and saying, how many students do you have? Can we hire them? When can they start? Who can we interview? And can we donate to you? So it's really a wonderful welcome. And what I see, we're growing in the area of health, our programs in that area. And whatever it is that somebody in the city of San Jose tells us that they need, we can quickly respond and develop a program.
What a fascinating time with all the stuff going on. Alyssa, thank you so much, again, not just for joining us today, but for all that you do, and really appreciate you spending the time with our members.
Terrific. Super happy to share. Thank you.